You're watching E.T.N. Entertainment-related new, entertainment-related discussion. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, we're going to return to the Fringe Entertainment section after 2 weeks. Sorry about that. For those of you who love this section of the channel, been kind of wrapped up with the whole Godzilla 30 for 30, but we are back, and this topic I'm very excited to discuss. Nothing creepy about this. We're going to revisit some conspiracy theories, but we're going to take a little different approach this time. This video, we're going to talk about conspiracy theories that actually turned out to be true. 5 of them. And at least one of them I thought was pretty amazing. Let's begin. Project Sunshine. Now, the conspiracy theory behind Project Sunshine is that the government was stealing dead bodies to run experiments and tests to see the effects of radiation, in particular nuclear fallout. And as it turns out, this conspiracy theory was true. Because the scientists needed young tissue to get the most accurate results, they sent out agents to steal the dead bodies of children and babies. Pretty morbid. What's even worse is they actually needed particular body parts. And when they were stealing these bodies or body parts or just taking tissue samples, they were doing it unbeknownst and unknown and without permission of the grieving families and relatives of these deceased kids. Believe it or not, this conspiracy remained undercover for 50 years before it was actually brought to light. Number 2, the first female president. I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, we have never had a female president. And, well, this was what makes this one so interesting. It's actually my favorite one on the list. But the conspiracy is this. President Woodrow Wilson suffered from a stroke towards the end of his presidency. And during that time, his wife became the commander-in-chief. And the truth behind this? He did suffer a stroke towards the end of his presidency, but the administration decided to keep it secret from the public. Now, Mrs. Wilson later claimed that she was more of a steward for her husband, and she was basically making executive decisions from the limited instructions of her husband. However, many historians disagree, and after analyzing and investigating, they came to the conclusion that based on documents and everything else they gathered during that time, Mrs. Wilson effectively ran the country for a year as president. Now, Mrs. Wilson will never go down officially as the first female president of the country because, well, she was never elected and her running the country was kept in secret. However, it's kind of cool to find out that we actually unofficially did have a woman run this country for a year. Number 3, government mind control. Now, the conspiracy here is that the CIA, as well as the government, obviously, were running an experiment where they used LSD and hallucinogens to manipulate a person's behavior. It's pretty shady. And of course, as you may have guessed, the experiment turned out to be true. It was called MK Ultra. Not Mortal Kombat Ultra, just so you guys know. Now, the program started with volunteers, but later those in charge of running the program started dosing people unknowingly to the person. Insane. As a result of all the testing, many people were left with mental disabilities that were permanent. Bad. What's even scarier is that some people believe history is repeating itself, as there's a drug that's been circulating for some time that manipulates your perception and alters the taste of food. You know it as meth. And some people out there believe that the government is conducting a very similar test as they did with MK Ultra with meth. That's creepy. Number 4, John Lennon under surveillance. Now, the conspiracy here is that former Beatles member John Lennon was being spied on by the FBI. And as is the theme with this so far, it turns out to be true. John Lennon was an activist through his music, and his counterculture practices drew the attention of the Nixon administration in the 70s. In 1971, he was put under surveillance, And in 1972, immigration tried to deport him. So as you can see, John Lennon was not only popular amongst fans. Number 5, Gaydar Detector. Now, I know it sounds funny. I even couldn't believe it when I first saw this one because, well, we've heard this term before in many different conversations, but we've never heard it taken seriously to the point where there was somebody actually trying to invent this, but there was. The Canadian government, the conspiracy is that they wanted to invent a machine that could detect homosexuality. They were very much against it during this time, and they kind of wanted to snuff it out of civil service. And you guessed it, it's true. In 1960, the Canadian government hired a professor to invent a machine that could detect homosexuality in employees or potential employees. And he succeeded. He developed a machine that would take the measures of a person's pupil dilation when exposed to same-sex erotic imagery. Insane! After the results came in, the Canadian government decided to fire over 400 civil service employees, including from the military and the Canadian Mounties. Wow. So as you can see, we have a lot of conspiracy theories that are very popular that we don't know that have been solved or not, whether or not they're true. But here are 5 conspiracies that were fairly popular that turned out to be true, and they're actually rather amazing. Especially the one about Woodrow Wilson's wife, Mrs. Wilson, and the Canadian government making the first Gaydar detector, or Gaydar, whatever. Insane. Anyway, I hope you guys like this video. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button and support Entertainment Talk Nation. If you already are a subscriber, hit that notification bell so you know when the next set of content is coming up. Please let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about this list? I thought it was pretty insane, and I thought it was incredibly interesting, especially the one about Mrs. Wilson. That's actually my favorite one on the list. I thought it's rather cool that she kind of stepped up and ran the country for a year. Incredible. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. This is Rob signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching E.T.N. Click here to watch more content. Don't forget to leave a comment. Also, make sure you like and share this video. If you want to know when the next video is up, click the notification bell next to the subscribe button. And most of all, make sure to click that subscribe button for regular content.